Jamal Adams and the New York Jets will eventually work out a deal. But if they work out a deal, it's going to be on the New York Jets' terms. It's not going to be on Jamal Adams' timeline. And he needs to get that through his incredibly thick skull at this time. Because the more that he continues to go on social media and act like a complete doofus, the longer it's going to take for his contract to get done. And I do believe in my heart of hearts that a contract will get done. But not like this. Now, when you take a look at players, NFL players getting paid in their third year, all right, the ones most notably everyone keeps talking about, Christian McCaffrey getting paid. Okay. In regards to the Carolina Panthers, they really had no choice. They had to pay Christian McCaffrey because Cam Newton was out the door. They didn't bring him back. So now they're sitting with Kyle Allen. Okay, and God knows who else they're going to have a quarterback over there. All right. Which I think they went out and they acquired Teddy Bridgewater. So you got to hope that he could stay he could stay healthy. But look, Christian McCaffrey being signed to a mega deal or a big contract. I don't want to call it a mega deal because that word just gets thrown around so much. It's so exhausting. It's just ridiculous. All right. I mean, like the Patrick Mahomes deal, that's like something I would expect from Major League Baseball. I'm going to be honest with you. Because when we took a look at Alex Rodriguez and his two contracts, the one from the Texas Rangers and then the other one from the New York Yankees, all right, Mike Trout's contract, Derek Jeter's contract back in the day when he was playing, when we look at the threshold of NFL contracts now going up, we don't even know what the salary cap is going to be next year because we don't know exactly how much damage COVID-19 has already inflicted on this NFL calendar year because it's too close to call. I mean, so far, okay, we've had virtual meetings and OTAs and mini camps and rookie mini camps and mandatory camps and stuff like that. I apologize. Have all been canceled because of COVID-19. NFL doesn't have a COVID-19 protocol in place, but actually the most recently released one. Like I said, we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on the show. So one of the things that I'm kind of looking at is, well, in regards to contracts, nobody really knows why all of these contracts are being dished out the way that they were. That's why Jadeveon Clowney remains unsigned. That's why Logan Ryan remains unsigned. That's why we still have quite a few NFL free agents not being signed right now. And here's the reason why. Because nobody knows what their salary cap situation is going to look like for 2021. Nobody knows. So for the Jets to go and to invest a boatload of money in Jamal Adams, which is greatly deserved. I don't want anybody to get it twisted here. He does deserve a contract. But right now, I'll bet you that Joe Douglas and his financial team and his front office looked at it and said, now's not a good time. Because we don't know what the numbers are going to look like next year. We don't even know if fans are going to be allowed in the stands. And right now, with the fact that they just released the COVID-19 protocols, we don't know what preseason is going to look like. We don't even know what training camp's going to look like. Everybody's set to report July 28th. I mean, there are so many unknowns. So many. That right now, everything is fluid because it changes from day to day to day. And then Jamal Adams is not the only person now who requested a trade. You have Raheem Mostert from the San Francisco 49ers now requesting a trade. David Njoku is requested a trade. Okay. Yannick Ngakoue, who is very popular amongst Jets Nation because they want the Jets to try and acquire Yannick Ngakoue, which would make sense because that would definitely solve the New York Jets pass rushing issues. But nobody's even really pulled the trigger on any prospective deals because nobody knows what type of shape these players are going to report in. Nobody knows exactly what is going to go on right now for NFL training camps. What are training camps going to look like? I don't know. Hence, I know that it seems like I'm making a little bit of a sidebar in regards to Jamal Adams, but I'm actually not, because I think a lot of this factors into why Jamal Adams does not have a contract as of yet. Because if the Jets don't know what their salary cap number is going to be for next year, if the Jets don't have an idea as to what the possible revenue loss they may experience this upcoming season, because no fans in the stands, games could be played in front of maybe 25% stands if they're lucky. How are these COVID protocols going to affect not only preseason games, but regular season games? How will it affect the roster? What happens if a player tests positive? So you see, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I keep putting all of these things to the forefront is because this is what I'm hoping that Jamal Adams is thinking in his incredibly thick skull, okay? That the reason why that he's not getting a contract is not because the Jets don't have a desire to sign him. It's not because the Jets don't give a damn about him. It's not because the Jets don't respect the player. It's not because the Jets feel like that he is an expendable piece of material. It's because there are 5,001 things that are happening ahead of that need to be dealt with. And before Jamal Adams' contract situation can even be looked at in any way, shape, or form, the Jets, just like 31 other organizations in the NFL, have to figure out not only the NFL's plan for COVID, but how each team is going to systematically plan for COVID, what their financial situation is going to look like. That's why you have a great deal of rookies that just got drafted that still haven't been signed yet. Nobody's talking about that. Oh, but Jamal Adams wants his money. You know, this is sometimes my biggest issue with pro athletes. You know, it's okay to have a cause and to use social media to talk about your cause, whether you have a charity, something that you believe in, and you use your social media platform for that. But when you're going to use a social media platform and be a complete tool, troll the organization that you play for, troll the fan base, and then not only that, start talking to other teams' fan bases, like the Dallas Cowboys, and start making videos about that, it's not a good look, Jamal. It's not. And this is why I candidly said that I really think that whoever it is who's giving Jamal Adams advice at this time, he needs to tell them to shut up. He needs to kind of thin out and tighten up his inner circle. That's just my opinion. Because the more that he continues to open his mouth and put stuff on social media, the more that he continues to take shots at the New York Jets, the more that I think it's going to take longer for a deal to get done. Now, he may not hold out. He's not going to pull a Revis and decide not to show up for training camp, because then he's going to get fined the maximum. And I tell you something right now, if I'm Greg Williams, even though I know I've publicly come out and said when it comes to his contract, I've got Jamal Adams back. But what's the kind of look that he's going to get in the locker room? I know that people are going to be giving him the stink eye. I know that people are going to be looking at him, giving him the sideways eye, because that's the conduct that he's emitting right now is not one that spells leadership. And especially you got rookies coming into that locker room where you want to be a leader amongst men and you want to go to the Pro Bowl. And not only that, but you also want to make it to the Hall of Fame. Well, dude, you've only been in the league 3 years. 2 out of those 3 years, you've made the Pro Bowl. Congratulations. But 3 years does not a football career make. And if you want to be known about your leadership skills and so on and so forth, then guess what? You got to pony up, which means you got to lead by example, which means sometimes your desires and what you want and why you think that other cats' pockets are getting fat and yours is staying skinny, sometimes you got to put that on the back burner and you got to just shut up and play. And I believe that Jamal Adams will, in fact, show up for training camp. I think that he will shut up and play because he's got no choice to. But it's not because of the reasons that I stated before. Like the Jets don't respect him. The Jets are minimalizing, his, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just, it's crazy right now. As far as I'm concerned, I'm thinking for me that, hey, look, the New York Jets have an opportunity to lock up one of the best players in football, but they have to do it at a time frame that maybe doesn't get dictated by COVID-19. And it's unfortunate, but this is exactly what needs to happen. So hopefully, just hopefully, we'll start thinking about things. We'll start looking at things a little bit differently. But we'll see. Okay? Now, speaking of Jamal Adams, he's actually got somebody pretty important on his side, Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell went on Hot 97 on early Friday morning where he actually got the opportunity to speak with Peter Rosenberg, who's also part of the Michael Kay show on 98.7 ESPN FM. So Le'Veon Bell said that according to, and I want to credit Rich Cimini here, New York Jets running back Le'Veon Bell had a great talk with disgruntled teammate Jamal Adams on Thursday, and he came away with the impression that the all-pro safety wants to remain in New York if he gets a new contract. Now, we all remember Le'Veon Bell sat out the year before last because he wanted a new contract from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Pittsburgh Steelers did not. They wanted to franchise tag him. He never signed his tender. So he made the executive decision to step out, which is fine. That's his choice. So it ended up working in the Jets' benefit because the Jets were able to sign Le'Veon Bell, regardless whether Adam Gase didn't like it or not. So now Le'Veon Bell went in to say that he talked with Adams. He believes that he wants to be a New York Jet, and he feels like that he's now in the same position that Le'Veon Bell was a couple of years ago, where he wanted to get his money. Now, in my opinion, I think that's yes and no, and here's the reason why. Jamal Adams in his third year, because of the fact he's in his third year, going into his fourth year, we've seen other NFL teams in a panic move say things like, well, what's going on here? Why am I not getting my contract? And it could be a multitude of reasons. It could be that the organization is losing faith in you. Maybe they feel like you've lost a step. That could be the case in Le'Veon Bell, not in Jamal Adams.